staff and honored guests of the Carpenter School Memorial Day observance. Today we'll learn about Memorial Day and recognize the men and women serving in our armed forces. The theme for today's observance is Freedom Isn't Free, and we'll learn what this means during the program.
Memorial Day was originally called Decoration Day, as a day of remembrance for those who died in our nation's service. It is difficult to say when Memorial Day actually began, as many towns across America were decorating graves and gathering to honor the war dead before the end of the Civil War, even though President Lyndon B. Johnson declared its official birthday in 1966.
Every Memorial Day, people around our country pause to reflect on our country and those who have served in our military. Many families place flags outside their homes, and we recognize those who have paid the ultimate sacrifice by placing an American flag at their grave sites. But many never even stop to ask the question, why does America salute the red, white, and blue?
A flag expert from the American Legion named Mike Buss says that the reason for the flag colors is that they were taken from the fact that our heritage comes from England and the Union Jack of England. They come from the three colors our founding fathers had been exposed to during their lifetime, as seen on the flag of England. On June 14, 1777, in Philadelphia, members of the 2nd Congressional Congress adopted a resolution that read, "Resolved that the flag of the United States of America be 13 stripes, alternate red and white, that the Union be 13 stars, white and a blue field representing a new constellation." And with these words, the stars and stripes were born.
The memorial wreath will now be placed, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance and the Star-Spangled Banner, played by the Crescent Lake School 5th and 6th grade band. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Who started Memorial Day or when it was established. It is important that it was established as a day of coming together to honor those who gave their all so we may have the freedoms we have today. To help educate and remind Americans the true meaning of Memorial Day, a resolution was passed in 2000 which asked by the people to set aside to pause from their busy lives of a moment of silence to reflect and honor those who gave their all for our freedom. Let us participate in a moment of silence to think about why Memorial Day is set apart to honor the memory of those who gave the ultimate sacrifice.
Today, we follow the footsteps of our forefathers by paying tribute to the innumerable men and women who served honorably. We welcome them home and for their service, and we honor them for doing what the rest of us could not. Today, we remember the brave soldiers who fought and did not return, to those who gave the ultimate sacrifice for their service, their courage, and their lives. May we always keep them in our thoughts, speak on their behalf, remember them on monuments, and never allow them to be forgotten for the part they played in maintaining our freedom. What is freedom? Liberty, independence, choice, free will, having freedom to make our own decisions, choose our own direction, or determine what we will do with our future. Our freedom has given us the opportunity to congregate, to voice our personal opinions and share our perspectives, and it's given us the liberty to vote for particular ideas or people that represent our views. Our second grade students shared their thoughts about what freedom meant to them. Freedom means to respect the people who fought in the war, so we are free. Freedom means doing what you want, having your own job. Americans are free in any way that they think it can be, as long as they follow our laws. Having freedom gives us the right to vote. We can live where we want, and we can choose our religion, and choose the church we want to go to. Freedom means people don't need to be forced to do whatever somebody wants them to do. Freedom means that you can go to school. Freedom means we can make our own decisions. Freedom means you can go to the grocery store, the dump, and any restaurant that we want. We can even buy a house, trucks, and cars. Freedom means we can have a family too. Freedom means we can play in the woods if we want to, and we can ride our bike if we want to. Freedom means that I can feel safe in my home and anywhere I go. Freedom means to me that everyone can live in peace and equally. Freedom means happiness and fairness. Freedom means being kind to one another. As Americans working towards the common goal of our country, we recognize freedom in its symbolic form. Every country in the world has symbols that stand for freedom, which give its citizens a sense of pride. Symbols stand for freedom and independence. Cast in London, England in 1752, the Liberty Bell rang when the Declaration of Independence was signed by Congress and became the symbol of freedom and independence for our country. The bald eagle represents strength, skill, bravery, and freedom. It became our national bird in 1784. The Statue of Liberty is a symbol representing friendship, hope, and freedom. It was a gift from France to the people of the United States, dedicating freedom in 1886. Standing high above New York Harbor, it welcomed immigrants to their new home and represented friendship between countries. And our American flag is a symbol that represents the freedom within our country as a whole. The 50 stars representing each of the states, and the 13 stripes standing for the original 13 colonies that became our states. Yet freedom has come at a cost. Freedom isn't free. Our American history teaches us of the sacrifices that our previous generations made to safeguard our freedoms and liberties. There have been conflicts and acts of terror that have challenged our freedom, and we ask ourselves why our principles of freedom can be put so quickly into jeopardy. Why have our freedoms become a target? Have you ever thought of what it would be like to be told the faith you had to practice, or that you would be persecuted for practicing the faith in which you believed? Does the answer to why stem from religion? Have you ever thought what it would be like to be restricted or censored from the freedom of expressing your ideas, feelings, or thoughts? Or what it would be like not to have the opportunity to go to school? Does the answer to why stem from the freedom of speech or the right to be educated? Have you ever thought what it would be like if you could not play with a friend because their religion, race, or gender was different than yours? Does the answer to why stem from social bias and hatred? Questions related to religion, speech, the right to an education, equality are hard for us to answer because they are the freedoms that we have in our country. However, freedom isn't free. As I stand here today, I see men and women in uniform, all striving to preserve the values and beliefs we have held since our forefathers, those that America was founded upon. our hopes, our dreams, and our aspirations, to maintain our land of freedom, justice, and opportunity. These are the men and women who are the freedom fighters from yesterday and today, fighting for the freedom of the rights of life, liberty, and the security of others within our own country, and leading humanity by making a difference in order to make the world a better place for all, a place of freedom. They fought for our freedoms, and we must take responsibility to ensure that it will be here for our future generations. They represent those who have fallen through the years, men and women just like them, who died on foreign soil, who had their planes shot down, who died at sea. They are the children of mothers and fathers, the spouses of husbands and wives, the parents of sons and daughters who had their lives interrupted and emotions filled with tears as they mourned for the loss of their loved ones. May we take this moment to remember the Blue Star and the Gold Star military families and thank them for their sacrifice and generosity. As a remembrance to those who served and our relatives of families from within our own community, we've displayed the names and service of many men and women who served our country. We want to thank them and acknowledge them for their service. It will not be forgotten. Freedom isn't free.
In 1986, President Ronald Reagan provided this interpretation of the colors on Old Glory. Red stands for courage and the readiness to make the ultimate sacrifice in service to country. White for pure intentions, freedom, and high ideals, and blue for vigilance and justice. In 1977, the House of Representatives wrote that the star is a symbol of the heavens and the stripe is symbolic of the rays of light emanating from the sun. And now Carpenter School staff and students will sing Our Flag. Lucas, born December 30th, 1971, at Huggins Hospital, attended Carpenter School, was the first class to graduate from the new middle school and attended Kingswood Regional High School. While in Kingswood, he was active in Boy Scouts, ultimately attaining the rank of Eagle Scout.
After high school, he attended Hesser College, receiving a degree in criminal justice. Upon graduation, Mr. Lucas entered the United States Army and served for 8 years. After leaving the Army, he entered into the United States Air Force and served for another 4 years. He is a veteran of Operation Iraqi Freedom, or the Second Iraq War. Welcome, Mr. James Lucas.
Good morning, Carpenter. Thank you for having me. You've probably seen me around. I work here with you guys. Thank you for having me. Veterans, thank you very much for showing up. And I appreciate your service. It was very nice for you to show up today. Boys and girls, military. Scary word. Not really. It's a job. It's a job like any other job. You go to your job, you do your job, you go home. There's a lot of fun times in the military, as a lot of these veterans can tell you. There's things that you do. You go to work, you go home, you talk to your friends, you call your family, you have a good time. Now, what you guys may be thinking about right now is the war that we were in previously, the Iraq War. And why did that happen? A lot of people will tell you a whole bunch of different things. It happened for oil. It happened for weapons of mass destruction. I don't know anything about that. All I know is that I saw kids your age who could not go to school. Kids your age who could not play in their own backyard because they were afraid of being hurt by their own government. That's a very terrifying thought. So my guys, the ones that I was with, we decided that we were going to fight for the children. We were going to go over there and help them as best we could. So I want you to think about that. Think about what these men and women over here have done. They've sacrificed a portion of their lives to make sure that all of you were safe. So thank you again. I hope that you have a great and wonderful day. I'm not going to take up too much of your time, but there is one thing I want the adults in here to consider doing sometime. There's a poem out there called The Final Inspection. If you ever want to understand how a soldier truly feels, please read this. It's by an unknown author. It's one of my favorites. Thank you very much for your time.
Singer-songwriter Lee Greenwood had wanted to write a song about the United States of America for many years. As he toured across America, he wanted to create a song that unites all Americans. As a result, he wrote God Bless the USA. This song has been sung during wartime, in peace, and after 9/11 to unite our country. The third grade will now sing God Bless the USA. The song Your Grand Old Flag was written by George M. Cohan in 1906, originally written for his musical George Washington Jr. The marching tune and rhyming lyrics remind us to have pride in our country and to say to the American flag, forever in peace may you live. Please join us in singing Your Grand Old Flag. Samuel Francis Smith, who lived from 1808 to 1896,
wrote the first verse of the song America, also known as My Country 'Tis of Thee, when he was a 24-year-old seminary student in Massachusetts. This song served as our national anthem for nearly 100 years. Will you please join us in singing America?